The custodians are hanging 4 championship banners on a wall inside of the school gym. Each of the banners are 8 feet in width, and the wall is 62 feet long. There is to be an equal amount of space between the ends of the wall and the banners, and also between each of the pairs of banners. We want to determine how far apart the banners should be placed from one another. So sketching out what's happening right here from one end of the wall to the other, we know that there's a total span there of 62 feet. When we place these banners, there needs to be spaces between the ends of the wall as well as between each pair of banners. We do know that there's 4 banners, and so it should look something similar to what we're seeing right here. Now, the space between the ends of the wall and between each of the banners, so these blue distances right here, are really meant to all be equal amount of spaces. Now, specifically the amount of space that is, we don't really know quite right now, so if we just represent that, we could call all of those distances, say, S. We also do know that the banners are 8 feet in width, which means that these distances right here are all going to be 8. And so, of course, if we add up all of those distances or spaces S with those distances of 8, it should total to be 62 feet overall. And so it turns out that then 5 spaces plus 4 widths, or a total of 32 feet there for the banners, is going to come out to be 62 feet in total. And then we can solve for S. First of all, of course, subtracting 32 from both sides of that, giving us that 5 times the spaces is equal to 30 feet. And we can divide both sides by 5 then, and that's going to give us that each space has to be 6 feet in width. The length of a rectangle is 10 feet less than 3 times its width. We're wanting to find the area of that rectangle if its perimeter is 116 centimeters. So ultimately, by the end of this, right, this is our goal, to be able to find the area of that rectangle. And to be able to find an area of a rectangle, we of course want to be able to find the product of its length and its width, of which we know neither of those things right now. So we're going to need to do some work to be able to determine what that length and that width is in particular. We do have that the perimeter is 116 centimeters, which is useful to know. And we also know that the length is 10 smaller than 3 times its width. So specifically, that means that whatever that length is, we have to take away 10 from triple the width. And so if we think about the fact that we do know the perimeter of this rectangle, meaning that if we were to go all the way around the rectangle and add up all the sides, it's going to be 116. So if we take this length and we take this width and this length and width and add it all up, it's going to be 116. And what's really useful to know is that actually each length is actually 3 widths minus 10. So I could replace each of these lengths and just call them 3w minus 10. And so then if we actually just add up all 4 of these side lengths, then that's going to be equivalent to a perimeter of 116 centimeters. Now, if we generate an expression for 3w minus 10 plus w plus 3w minus 10 plus w, we will obtain the expression of 8w minus 20, and then that has to be equivalent to 116 centimeters. Then we can solve that to be able to find w, or in other words, the width of the rectangle. So by adding 20 to both sides of that equation, we get that 8w is equal to 136, and then we can divide both sides by 8, and we obtain that the width has to be 17 centimeters for that rectangle. So once we have that width there, of course, then we can take that and we can substitute w into this identity that we have right here. So if we triple 17 and we subtract 10 from it, what that then gives us is that the length would be 41 centimeters then. And so now we do have the length is 41 and the width is 17. You can verify that if you do take and find the perimeter of a rectangle that's got those particular dimensions, because summing all 4 of those sides will indeed come out to be 116 centimeters. So finally, to find that area, we do want to find the product of the length and the width. So we do want to multiply 17 and 41. So when you do so, 41 times 17 gives you 697, and that would be centimeters times centimeters. And so the units there would be centimeters squared.